Welcome in, Genshin crew. Thank you for clicking on the video. Genshin Impact's 5.7 Phase 2 banners were released. So we're here to talk about Mavuika, we're here to talk about Emilie, and those pretty dang good 4 stars that goes with it. So we're going to talk about the pull values, if you should pull, how your damage will stack up if you don't have the most premium units for Mavuika, and if you should still pull Mavuika if you don't have those units, and overall account value for these banners. Thank you. Let's get right to it. Mavuika, the strongest damage dealer in the game to this day. Now, Skirk is definitely giving her run for money, tied for the point, tied for the 2 spot. But Mavuika's on top because she has melt and vape reactions, okay? A insanely powerful DPS. You don't need her constellations to flex her power if you have her premium units, okay? You can ride a motorcycle, not for very long unless you're in Natland. Pretty cool to do. So, for the Fire Archon, there are some questions. Should you pull Mavuika if you don't have Fiorina, Xiangling, or Citlali? Okay, so remember, in case you didn't know, Mavuika doesn't run off of energy recharge. She runs off of her mechanic, the Fighting Spirit, and you have to have Night Soul points consumed, or you have to do normal attacks. Typically, you kind of do both. So, if you have Citlali, but you don't have Xiangling or Fiorina, I would say fine. Yep, you're gonna do just fine. Your damage will be good. It's not gonna be as top tier consistent because you're gonna have to work on getting your burst all the way up. If you have Xiangling, then you're good. Get Mavuika. You can work on the other supports. Xiangling is huge for this. Okay. If you have Fiorina, you are good to get Mavuika. Now, Xiangling is the key for consistent bursting, okay? So, you may have to get a little creative on getting her burst up without Xiangling, but still, the damage will be there, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. However, if you don't have any of those units, you are definitely going to have reduced damage compared to what other people are recording, okay? I've seen a lot of people run Kachina as like a free to play friendly version of a Mavuika team. You can do that, just like I said. Her Night Soul points consumption is actually pretty good. However, the damage will be much less than what other people are using, especially with Xiangling, because Xiangling is just an absolutely busted unit, especially if you have her at C2. Now, you can still use Mavuika without the Night Soul points character. It's just you probably aren't going to rely on her burst. There are plenty of burning teams, Bergen teams, and overload teams that use Mavuika just for her skill because of how good her off-field pyro damage is.
Rise with the sun.
So you click this bad boy on, and now you've got a pretty consistent, pretty good pyro damage off-field that you can utilize in a lot of different teams.
Another test.
I'm going in. Pyroclastic surge.
I didn't even have Fiorina's burst up or Xiangling's burst up, and that was 300k damage. Whoa there, Buckaroony. My highest damage was definitely from Mavuika. 998,880. I didn't even know I got that much. So, I have no idea if this was part of one of those weird, damage events or not, but still, I can't believe that I have almost 1 million damage on my account. That is insane. I didn't even know that. Do I regret getting Mavuika? Not at all.
Burn it down. Try and stop.
She is absolutely crazy busted. That Pyro NATO nonsense she does on the motorcycle is crazy effective in the Spiral Abyss and against really strong bosses. If you have just one of her premium teammates, you are going to do great in the Spiral Abyss for sure. She is an easy go-to team for me. I don't even have to think about it. I just wham bam, thank you ma'am, slam that damage, slam that giant AoE, and then I move along very quickly. So, as long as you understand her kind of limitations, right? You're really forced into using some of her really strong units to get the top tier damage. Otherwise, it will be much less than what others are doing. People compare her to Arlecchino. She is stronger than Arlecchino. However, Arlecchino kind of, the gameplay's different. So don't be afraid to have both. I have Arlecchino. I love Arlecchino. And I also love using Mavuika. I use Arlecchino on my Overload team for the Spiral Abyss. And when it's not doing all the skirk shilling nonsense, the Overload team for my Chevreuse and my Arlecchino does really well. It clears very quickly. I know people are turned off by the Natlan units and her riding a motorcycle. She's dressed in leather. Like, some people don't get it. Some people don't like it. So, aesthetically, if you like her, the damage is there. The damage will always be there, no matter how they keep pushing these characters. I genuinely don't think they're going to power creep Mavuika out of the top 3. I just don't see it happening. With that out of the way, we can talk about Emilie. Now, Emilie, I don't have. So, we'll go to the old character archive here. However, she has seen a pretty good resurgence recently, especially with Kinich. If you don't have Kinich, you can pick up Emilie and you won't be disappointed. She has really strong multipliers, and she's not based off of EM. She's not based off of building EM like other Dendro units. You build her just with attack, and she triggers really strong reactions for Burning and the Bergen teams. Okay, so I've seen a lot of people put her with Mavuika. You can put her with Xiangling, put her with Gaming. I've seen that too. So she's one that's often used in the Spiral Abyss as well. You can pair her with Dia. There's a lot of cool Burning teams. I've seen Arlecchino as well. People really love this character, and I think she's got a great aesthetic. So I can put some animations up here. So you put a Dendro turret down, and then it also decreases the Pyro resistance for your enemies. So not only are you burning, but they're getting increased damage by Pyro. So you just slam as much Pyro as you can. Everything's just burning, and then everything just dies. So she's very strong. People really like using her. They're not doing too much with Dendro nowadays. So, however, I think as more Pyro units get released, she's going to have even more increased versatility, okay? Like, I don't think they're going to come back to Natlan and give Mavuika more units to use. Like, I just don't, like, no one, that's not going to happen anytime soon, because certainly people don't want it. But with her, they could easily plop down a random Dendro character and just spike her usage through the roof. An easy Pyro character and spike her usage through the roof. So, as long as you're okay with not having, like, top tier meta compared to Mavuika, however, she's usable, she's beautiful, and she has a really good following, and she is worth it as long as you understand, like, you're probably going to have a good Abyss team, and there will be other units that out damage her on the front side in terms of, like, big nuke damage like Mavuika does, but Emilie is like a consistent longer lasting damage. Like, you mark them with burning the enemies, and they're digging through the dirt and all that stuff. Well, they're going to be taking consistent damage from the burning reactions. So she does have some good usage. Okay, she's just not top tier meta, and most people don't really care about that, but I just like being honest with you all. Alright, so we're going to move on to these 4 stars here. Iansan, actually a great option for Mavuika. Now, Iansan is a buffer, but she cares about how much your character moves in order to utilize her buff to the fullest. So, with Iansan, you need someone like Varessa or Mavuika, or probably Chlorend would be okay too. The more the character moves, the better the buff utilization is going to be. And with Iansan, she does consume Night Soul points, so she would be pretty good for Mavuika. She's not like top tier. She's not one of the top tier characters for her, but I mean, it's 5 stars versus 4 stars. So if you don't use her with Mavuika, you can use her just fine with other characters. Sorry, my camera seems to be bugging out right now. You can use her just fine with other characters, You can use her just fine in overloaded teams, quicken teams. You know, this character, they are kind of like a second version of Bennett. Okay, so I put them on Noblesse because Noblesse is a great team buffing artifact set.
Breathing. Keep pushing. On my mark. Light of the blazing sun.
All right, well that was really bad gameplay, but you get the picture. She's very utilized. She is very useful. For constellations, C1's good, C2's great. I think C4 is a great, so of course you want to get C6 if you can, but honestly get as many as you can. Like every single one is a good stopping point. So before throwing Iansan in a team, make sure that you check to see if your DPS or your team moves around enough for them to utilize the her healing and her buffing. Otherwise she's gonna be useless to you. However, really good unit to invest into for the future, okay? Yaoyao. So Yaoyao's great on Dendro teams, okay? So she herself is a Dendro healer and very useful for proccing Dendro reactions, okay? So she poops these little seeds. She's got great healing. So now, I don't utilize Yaoyao that much. This isn't even her bow. So I have her on, of course, just like Iansan. So they're another holder of the Favonius Lance. Iansan, a little bit different. So they have high energy needs, but if you can utilize that, then there are certainly 5-star options that are better for that one. So Yaoyao, I've been trying to get constellations for her, and I flippin' can't. Her C2 is a great point to hit. It greatly reduces her energy requirements. So C4 increases the healing, and C6 increases the damage. Okay, so you can build Yaoyao more healing or more personal damage, but you can use her on I mean, any Dendro team. You can utilize Dendro reactions. She's gonna be pretty good for you, okay? So now some people will lean more towards Baiju instead of Yaoyao just because of his shielding. So, but Yaoyao is still very good unit, very utilized unit. Not necessarily for the Spiral Abyss anymore, but overworld and team utilization, she does just fine, okay? But she is kind of getting drowned a little bit nowadays. There are certainly, shielders and healers that may shine a little bit more than Yaoyao, but she's super cute. And if you end up picking up a couple of her, I think you can slot her into a couple teams and she'll do just fine, okay? But she's not top tier by any means, and that's okay. Now, Xiangling, she's the Pyro Archon before the Pyro Archon. Xiangling, of course, a Pyro god. I mean, I've been working on this character for God knows how long. I was switching around some stuff, trying out the new Spiral Abyss, because, man, let me tell you, don't get me started. So, Xiangling, crazy strong Pyro application on field off field. I mean, for those that don't know, like, she's pretty amazing. This can have insanely strong damage. Crazy strong unit. Pick up as many constellations as you can for her. She is one of the best 4-stars in the game without question. C4 is where you need to go because it increases the duration of her ultimate by 40%. And of course, her C6 gives all Pyro damage members a 15% damage increase. She is insanely strong. She's insanely good. So I have her NATO crowned for obvious reasons. Now this was a free skin we got during an event. Overall banner pull value is insanely good, insanely strong. Yaoyao, if Yaoyao is like the dud of the units, that you know you're doing something right. Iansan insanely strong. I know most of the veterans here, we've had Xiangling C6 forever, but hopefully you can pick up some constellations for Yaoyao and Iansan if you don't have them. Now the weapon banner, I'm not gonna lie to you, that the Emilie doesn't need her weapon, okay, in order to be good. Mavuika doesn't need her weapon to be good. However, if you want top tier damage, you can try for it. However, remember, weapon banners are bait. They always will be. If you don't have Emilie and you're trying to get Mavuika's weapon, I'll put it up on the screen here, and you miss and get Emilie's, it's definitely going to be a little sad for you. There's nothing really too good here. Rust is poop. Flute is poop. Dragon's Bane is useful, but not worth it. This Elemental Mastery Claymore is garbage. Sacrificial Fragments is the only one that's any good here, but it's not worth it. So Mavuika's Thousand Blazing Suns is arguably one of the best crit claymores in the game. So if you want to take a chance, you are more than welcome to try. So gain the Scorching Brilliance effect when using an elemental skill or burst. Crit damage increased by 20%, attack percent increased by 20% for 6 seconds. When the Scorching Brilliance instance is active, duration is increased by 2% or normal charge attacks that deal elemental damage. This protects her once. I mean, it just goes on, and it's got Night Soul Blessing State. Effects are increased by 70%. I mean, it's just this weapon's busted and broken specifically for Mavuika. Probably anyone that does, probably anyone that carries a claymore and deals with Night Soul, this would probably be one of their best in slots or second best. So it's a dope weapon. I took a chance and I won, thankfully. Okay, so thankfully, if you do lose the 50-50 of this, it is a crit rate weapon, so that's good. Increase attack by 50% after the equipping character triggers burning on an opponent or deals Dendro damage to burning opponents. The damage is doubled by 18%. And then it restores energy after you hit that a couple times. Okay, cool. So granted, you're certainly not going to utilize that polearm without Emilie. So if you want to take a chance on Mavuika's weapon, I hope you hit. Fingers crossed. I don't regret trying. If I would have lost, it would have been awful, but man, would have got over it. My dog needs out, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you for clicking on the video. You guys can tell me in the comments below. Are you pulling from Mavuika? I think Sidlali might be coming up in a couple patches, so I might be saving from Emilie to try to get Sidlali, since I wasn't able to pick her up the first time around due to the Predatory releasing her at the same time with Mavuika. So I still love the game. I just don't like some of the quality of life choices and the exploration stuff that they're doing. So, but hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know if this helped. See ya. Alright, hey, thank you for watching. Over here I've got a couple recommended videos. This top one is one that I recommended, and this bottom one is one that YouTube recommended. If you guys want to take a look around, if you want to stay here for Wuthering Waves or Nikkei content, I would appreciate it. Or if you want to subscribe and help me grow the channel. So, thank you.